old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops and nuts, there are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ejectables, the show where movie enthusiasts Joe, Bill, and Ian celebrate movies that we think have been unfairly judged by the critics and ignored by audiences. And we join forces with a weekly rotating guest. And this week, our guest is the wonderful, really good friend of mine, Celeste Oliva, who is an actor that you may know from such projects as David Gordon Green's Exorcist, Believer, NCIS Hawaii. You even know her from Mystic River a million years back, but she has a bazillion credits. Check her out on IMDb. But this is my good friend Celeste. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's great to have you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Celeste, tell us about yourself. And also, can I just ask you, I think you have a couple of projects coming up. One's like a Blumhouse show called, what's it called?
It's called Obsession. We don't know if it's going to be called that when it's released, and it's going to be on Amazon. Okay. There's 8 episodes, and it's based on the movie, or it's based on the book called 56 Days that was set during COVID. But they have changed it to Obsession, and then it's Seaside. And so I don't actually know what the true title will be, but we are filming under the name Obsession.
Cool. And you're in quite a few episodes of that, I believe.
Yeah, I'm in 4 of those. And then I'm also really excited because there's a film that a very bizarre indie. It's written by Eva Victor, who also
Sorry Baby? Is that what that is?
Sorry Baby. And
there you go, Ian.
At Sundance. And it's like this really cool, like when I first joined, I was like, wait, I don't get it. Anyway, I'm super proud of her because it's like, it's just, she's so young to have been doing all this stuff. And she's really, I think, pushed the rock up the hill, but apparently it's a really good film. I desperately wanted to see it, but I would have to have gone today.
And it's premiering at Sundance tomorrow. Is that what you said? Okay.
I forget which day. I believe it's tomorrow, but don't hold me to that.
And by the time this airs, it will have been a few days ago.
Yeah. So go see Sorry Baby when it comes out in theaters, hopefully.
And maybe something will have changed and you would have made it and you can tell us about it.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
We could put it in the notes also.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Celeste.
Yes.
So you are an actor and you're one of Ian's best friends and maybe even better friends with my wife.
Yes, very.
Thank goodness.
She's my laughing partner.
We just found out that Bill's the father of my son.
I know, it's really weird.
Yeah. We didn't tell me. But anyway.
Wait, did not let your son watch your show, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't let him watch. Shh. So this week, just by chance, you've chosen a film by the late, great, as of this week, David Lynch, which we didn't obviously know he was going to pass away, but you chose this movie a few days ago. What did you choose?
I chose Dune. 84 version. Yeah. Now,
if you want to refresh people's minds, what is Dune?
So Dune is about these many planets, and they need this spice from one of the planets for this. That's basically their wealth. And on this planet, the worms, when you mine for this spice, the worms will come and get you. And so you have to have ways of being able to mine the spice and keep away from the worms.
Is this a sequel to Tremors?
Tremors came out in '89, Ian.
Oh, okay. It's not a sequel to Tremors. Okay.
No, but it was, and I remember the first time I saw it, because everybody was panning it. And I was like, I don't know. I had read the book. So I was like, oh, I thought it was good.
Okay. So you read the books. Do you feel that maybe having read the books kind of helped fill in maybe some of the gaps or some of the confusion maybe the movie might lead one to have?
Oh, no. So I should be clear about this. I actually watched the movie, then read the book.
Okay.
I don't feel like I was confused when I watched it the first time or just recently.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I saw this movie when it came out, what, in 1984, so I was like 12, I think.
30.
I was at 12:30.
I was at 12:30. Yeah.
I was 37 years old. And I just remember it being much darker than, I guess I wanted it to be more like Star Wars at the time because I was 12.
Look
And it wasn't that. And I remember because I had not seen it since having watched it a million years ago back then. I watched it because you chose it the day before we found out he passed away.
Yeah.
And I remembered like some of these scenes had been seared in my mind just because it was so creepy, some of the imagery. But I was very glad we had the newer Dune movies to kind of fill in the blanks as to what was happening. Because I didn't feel I really could follow this, but maybe I could have, but I've been influenced by the new ones.
I see. Well, so Bill, what do you like? When you first saw it, did you see Dune way back in the day?
I did not. No, I got confused. I forgot that Sting was in it, and then my girlfriend and I, because I got confused with The Bride with the Flash dance. What's her name? She's Jennifer Beals.
Yes.
And so Dune and the Bride played in my local theater. So, and like it had really bad, I mean, it was destroyed, this movie. It was crazy. Critically and box office wise. And then we were going to see the new Dune, and we tried to watch this first one. And I was like, I have no idea what's happening. And then I watched the new one. And then I was like, oh, I get what he's doing. And I feel like David Lynch was ahead of his time with a lot of things, like the steampunk aspect of it.
Oh my God.
And when the guy's going down the stairs, he can't erase those lines digitally. Like I was like, how did David Lynch do this? Like, I think he was ahead of his time. And I think if he had more support, perhaps he might have made a cohesive story a little bit, but there's a lot that you just can't ignore that, you can just tell what a genius David Lynch is. It's nuts.
And if he had the running time of The Brutalist, maybe he could have fleshed out the story fully.
Well, they took the movie away from him. Pontus, the Italian producer, took away them because he was supposed to do Return of the Jedi, and then he skipped that to do this. He was offered that after The Elephant Man.
Yeah. Oh, no way. I didn't know. Oh, wow. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Celeste, what else about this film? What made you pick it for this show?
So I don't know. I've always had this sort of, I like the film. I don't find myself confused. And I think what I love about it is that it trusts me to figure out what's happening. And like, I love like the whole, when the brain thing comes in the beginning, it's like, I know your plans. And then all of a sudden you see this guy, the king, basically, that's I think imagery wise what we're supposed to think.
Yeah.
All of a sudden succumb to this situation. I loved the fact that, and I don't know if it appealed to my feminist side way back in the day, but that the lineage was supposed to come through the females, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just like the way that there's different ways of communication, there's different ways of understanding beings rather than just humans, that kind of stuff. And I love this storytelling where I get to see them sort of figure it out. Now, obviously, back in the day, I feel like there was they trusted the storytelling of most movies because we didn't have the kind of special effects that we have today.
Yeah.
And so I think as audience members, back in the day, we suspended a lot more disbelief, and we're like, okay, I'm going to make this jump. It's like if you look like at a movie like African Queen that I showed my kids, say, and they were like, what are those flies? Like, clearly it's a special effect. But then the next day they asked to rewatch the film. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of thing. And I think I feel that same way about Dune. I really liked it. And the grossness of the Baron. Juxtaposed with like, the innocentness of the daughter that was being born and that kind of stuff. So I just liked it. I couldn't help ignore the parallels to like some of it is like sort of that Jesus story, like the brain was like, we want him killed, and they're like, do you mean the father? And they're like, no, it's the Paul we want, and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I just like that aspect of it.
It was really hard for me to, because of the newer ones, and because I hadn't seen it since way back when, it was hard for me to separate the two, because I just found myself thinking, okay, so that Gallagher, or what's his name, is the Chalamet character. Like I was just going back and forth between, so I wasn't really sure if I was having trouble understanding. But one thing I thought, like, did they really trust us? Because all the characters, you could hear their thoughts, all like the whispering.
Oh yeah, he's like, if I, yeah, exactly, right.
I think that my guess is that was added, dude. I think the movie was taken away,
and they're like, this isn't making sense.
Make sense. Yeah, that seems like a no, in my opinion.
That's
that was
I
mean, I like to see the 3-hour version, but I think that he just responded. He was just like, forget it, and so he went on to Blue Velvet afterwards,
which I've never seen, which I will see. I owe it to the late great. I love a straight story, but respect to him.
Ian, I will also tell you, I tried to watch Dune, the new Dune.
Yeah.
3 separate times. Couldn't do it. I don't know why.
It's too
short. Like that is confusing. So maybe it's just me.
I found the first, and not that this is all just about opinions, but I found the first half of the new Dunes pretty boring. The second one I thought was, because I didn't even know they split into 2. I'm like, oh, good. So this is going to be a complete movie. And then I'm like, oh, it ended? And then they're like, stay tuned for part 2. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like Back to the Future. But the second one's spectacular.
No, it's not like Back to the Future, because they never intended to do a sequel for Back to the Future. It was just a joke. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So 3 was...
No, for 1.
Oh, I meant 1 to 2 to 3.
Yeah,
they broke 2 ended abruptly. I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, they did write it as one big script, and that's why, and then they broke it up.
Okay. Well, that was my experience with the new Dunes, which I do recommend part 2. Since you know what's happening anyway, you don't need part 1.
No, part 1's the better part. What are you talking about?
But she knows it. She read the book and saw the old movie.
No, well, listen, I'm going to give it a go. Well, we'll see.
Okay, maybe the 5th time you'll get through it.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
I just wish it was longer. The new Dunes.
Yes.
I
think he's going to do it the 3rd part, though, isn't he? Do you know who the little girl was, though, in this 1984 Dune?
He is the Quitsax Hatterack.
Give the dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. Is that what you said? No. Wait, do you know who that little girl was?
No. Wait.
Yes, the one that's all creepy and doing all the whispery stuff. Alicia Witt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, I couldn't believe it. And we just did a movie with her, The Upside of Anger, a couple of weeks ago. So it was kind of cool to see.
That's so cool.
Where she started. But it was, yeah.
Sorry. And you're the president of her fan club, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
A little bit.
I was going to have her over for this episode. Let me call her. No, but I thought that was cool. Anyway, yeah, anything else you two want to share about this?
I just love the steampunkness of it. It's awesome. The sets, I think of his time.
A lot of it looks pretty cool. And I think even some of the dated special effects, like the CGI duel scene where they kind of looks like Tron when they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
It looks dated, but it's kind of cool. And I imagine at the time that was pretty fresh.
Yeah, it was like, they do the weird sound effects.
Yeah. There's a lot. I think there was a lot to appreciate here. And a lot of it actually does look like the new Dune. And the worm stuff isn't that bad looking.
I never thought it was. That was really in the very. I remember that. Like people were like, "What are these worms?" And I was like, "I think it's fine." I don't. But
yeah,
and I agree with you, Bill. Like, I think those suits and like certain one. I was like, "Oh wow!" Like you forget how cool that part was, and they actually make them, and even just like the sets. Some of the sets were gorgeous. So
do you remember seeing it in the theater, Celeste, or did you watch it on video?
The first time I saw you, I was in a theater. I think. Was it packed?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I think it was in Lowell, Massachusetts that I went to go see it. I can't remember. It was half full at least.
Whoa.
I think opening weekend though, it was like a huge movie, wasn't it? And then it.
I didn't see it then. I didn't see it exactly at that point. I saw it just a little bit after.
Yeah, I don't
I feel
remember.
like word got out that this wasn't Star Wars. I think that's also another problem, is that people thought it'd be another Star Wars when it's very intellectual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're 12, it wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But, okay. So should we move on to our next film?
Yeah, let's do your next film.
I did the film At Close Range, directed by James Foley, starring Sean Penn, as you see right there, and Christopher Walken. And this is a story about Sean Penn strikes up a relationship with his absent father, and things kind of go downhill from there because his absent father is a petty criminal. And Sean Penn gets sucked up into that lifestyle because he sees opportunity to get out of their small Pennsylvania town. This is based on a true story. Chris Penn and Sean Penn play brothers in this, which is the only time they ever got to work together in a film.
Wow.
Their mother plays the grandmother in this, so it's the one.
So good. She's so good.
Great. So why I chose this movie is because I think for its time, especially, it is, if you watch it now, you're like, oh, this is kind of dated and it's an 80s movie. But I think it's pretty raw, and given it's a true story, I think there's some nice emotional depth here, and it can be quite moving and kind of stunning at times. And the performances and chemistry between Penn and Walken, stellar stuff there. What do you think, Celeste?
Oh my gosh. I first of all, it's a movie that I can't believe how much of it I forgot. But I will say, just there's so many stars in this, right?
Yes.
Kiefer Sutherland is in it. Like there's Crispin Glover.
Yeah, Mary Stuart Masterson.
Look between Sean Penn when Christopher Walken comes in as his dad is like it already right there. It got me. So I loved the storytelling in this. I thought what they did a really good job with was not explaining away and giving backstory, but that you had to really just kind of be like, oh, like the pain of it. You could see it happening. You could be like, no, and then it happens. No, don't do it. Don't fall for it. And then it's happening. I loved this sort of really crampedness. I thought they did a really good job with like Sean Penn's and what's his name, his brother, their room.
Yeah.
The way the beds were, I was like, oh my God, that's so real life. And like, I've seen houses like that where people just don't have money and they're all crammed in there, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I liked how spare it was and unapologetic in telling a really brutal kind of story.
Yeah. And it in that regard too, it just makes it so anti-80s in the time when, we're in the 80s prime, 1986 when this came out, I guess. But Bill, what'd you think?
I was hoping for a sexy movie about tractor stealing, Ian. And
that's what you got.
That's what I got. I've never seen such a riveting story of people stealing tractors.
Oh, that musical scene is so good when they're doing that dance around the
So thank you, Ian. I was really worried when they were stealing the John Deere.
But I mean, that makes sense. Like tractors are worth a lot of money if you can steal them and resell them, and they're in Pennsylvania. What else are you going to do in Pennsylvania? No offense, Pennsylvania people.
Well, I love the director, James Foley. His visuals are amazing. This was considered a low-budget movie, but he shot so well. He was coming off of Bomb, written by Chris Columbus, his first movie called Reckless, which is like a 50s like teenage romance movie. And so this was the shot at the big time. It's so well shot. It's beautifully shot. That scene with Chris Penn with the sun going down is awesome. It's all real. It's all done like not optically. But yeah, it's a movie about tractor stealing. So if you want to see a movie about tractor stealing, At Close Range is for you.
It's a movie about complicated family dynamics.
Yeah, and tractor stealing.
With some tractor stealing. Spoiler alert. No, but it's Mary Stuart Masterson is great in this. I don't know if this.
How about that scene when he's like, "I'll see," you, and then like, she's supposed to show up, and then this is hard. Like, oh
it's
my
heartbreaking.
God. You're like, yeah, there was a lot of smoking. If you don't like smoking, you may not like this movie. And then I will say, Bill, you're right, because I didn't know that part of it, but
The tractor stealing?
the scene of Christopher Walken and Sean Penn looking out of the barn, and they're looking, I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
It just was, I was like, what a shot that is.
Yeah, he's the best, and he did Glengarry Glen Ross afterwards because he bombed with Who's That Girl afterwards, and that was such a disaster for him.
Mhm.
And then he did Fear with Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon, which is a really good movie.
Not as good as this, though. I just love
10 times better than this.
What? No way. No, but I love there's so much acting in this film without dialogue. Like I think you were saying, Celeste. They just look at each other and so much is being said between the eyes. And it's just like, wow, that makes it even more powerful. I think this is way better than Fear. Definitely see it. I even like it more than Glengarry Glen Ross.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
I have to go back and watch
And I will repeat that Alec Baldwin is better in Prelude to a Kiss.
You're crazy. Glengarry won the Pulitzer. You're nuts.
Sometimes they're drunk when they choose who they're winning.
They won a Pulitzer. They won a Pulitzer Prize.
No offense against drunk people. I'm sorry.
We're drunk right now.
There you go.
I just want to give one last criticism. If I have a criticism, yes, it's kind of 80s of At Close Range, it would be the miscasting of Crispin Glover. I think he's so acting in a different movie in this film.
Yeah, that's every role he does.
Because isn't he supposed to be on drugs the whole time? Isn't that his whole?
Even if it was, he just seems so fake. I don't know. It worked like Back to the Future, but what's that?
David Strathairn.
Oh yeah,
awesome. He was so good.
Okay, I have a question because you both watched it. There's a scene with David Strathairn where he's strapped to the bed and like twitching and holding on. Is that because of drugs? Like near the end, I'm like, what's going on?
I thought he got shot.
What? Oh,
did he? It was weird. Know. It didn't seem to fit with anything else we were being told about his character. I'm like,
of the tractor stealing movie.
Is he the one that said? You'll know that I'm not going to give anything away for those that are going to watch it. But is he the one that said, I'm out on this one?
No, I think that was another guy, an older guy.
Okay.
David Train was the guy with the hat.
Yeah. But I thought, so then maybe I'm conflating that. I thought that was an interesting scene too. I was like, he's getting over drugs, or so if Bill, I could buy that he was shot.
Yeah, maybe.
That's when things start to go south with the tractor stealing clan.
Yeah, that's true. The tractor stealing clan.
I looked up. They actually were much worse than portrayed in this movie. And there's 2 podcasts. So if you look up At Close Range, I think it's called the Broaden Clan. There's 2 podcasts that deal with how they terrorized Pennsylvania in the 70s. It's really interesting.
So wow.
Okay, so there's more to learn here. Okay, see this movie for the performances and stellar direction
and cinematography.
Gorgeous,
exactly, and not for Crispin Glover. Skip for Crispin Glover
and the tractor stealings.
Yeah, tractor stealing.
How about the music tractor stealing?
Yeah,
choreography with the music of the tractor stealing.
Oh, it's so good, that dance. It's almost like La La Land. That one, yeah.
I did not like La La Land. Sorry, I know this.
I'm with you.
I have a poster. I love it.
I love Celeste. 5 minutes in, I looked at my girlfriend and I said, "Can we go?" When we saw in the theater.
I listen. I had the thing, and I tried. Because I vote. I was like, "Oh my god!" I fell asleep both times, and then the second time I fell asleep, I looked around. My whole family was asleep. What? I don't know.
You're like the Pulitzer people. Was it Pulitzer?
No, he didn't win a Pulitzer.
Oh, okay.
For drama. That's Glengarry Glen Ross.
All right.
La La Land is great. It's great, audience. Okay, what movie did you do, Bill?
I picked A Simple Plan. 1999, Paramount Pictures, stars Bill Paxton, Bridget Fonda, Billy Bob Thornton. Hilariously, not hilariously. Bill Paxton was one of the nicest people in Hollywood. Him and Jeff Goldblum have 2 of the best reputations, and I met him in an elevator, and the guy could not have been nicer. It follows 3 people in Iowa, 2 of them brothers, that come across a plane that's crashed in the woods in the dead of winter, and they find a bag of money, so they assume that it was drug money, so they agreed to hold on to the money for a year, and complications arise from that. and it shows the slow deterioration of their plan and how things get messed up and how what lengths will they go to for greed. I read the book and I saw it as a movie. I read the book in 1994, and then I was like, oh, they're finally making the movie. I know that the producer took his name off it for some inexplicable reason, but even reading the book and watching the movie, I still, when I watched it again, I was like, damn, like I totally forgot this happened. There's a lot of twists and turns, which I won't reveal. That it's one of the best I've seen in cinema. Totally got me. The cinematography is luscious. I mean, Sam Raimi did such a great job directing it, and Billy Bob Thornton's so good. Bridget Fonda was awesome. I forgot how awesome she was. There's a 4K disc out now of it that is just absolutely gorgeous, and could not recommend it enough. I know Ian hated it.
Oh God, I can't believe it ended up being a zombie movie. Is that the twist you meant?
No, that's
pilot came alive. That was so.
No, that's the tractor movie. That's the tractor steal.
Oh, okay. Celeste, did you see this?
I did not, but I want to ask something about it.
Yes.
Have you never ever seen it? Like way when it came out?
No, I never ever saw it. Was this before or after Sling Blade?
It was right afterward.
Okay, so because I know that Billy Bob brought Bill Paxton in for that one, right? And so they must have obviously had a great working relationship. And I love that they went on to do another film together. I'm sad that I didn't see this.
This is I love this movie. I remember because, obviously I'm a huge horror fan.
Yeah.
And I love Sam Raimi. So I'm like, oh, he did Evil Dead, but now he's doing this drama. This could be interesting. And this is a masterpiece. This is like, obviously I love Evil Dead still, but this is far and away his best movie.
I agree.
Yeah. And Celeste got to work with Bruce Campbell on a movie called Black Friday. But
I did.
Was he nice?
He was really nice. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about him. He was obviously, it's not like he's going to sit there and chat with me. He's carrying a movie. So, but when I was like, and I always get really, really nervous about this. It's so funny. 20 years I've been doing, over 20 years, have worked with big, like, Sean Penn and for some reason, every time I have to ask for like, can I get a picture with you? I melt into this like 5-year-old, like, I know I'm really being goofy. Anyway, and he was like, yeah, and he's a lot of fun. He also is he's an incredibly smart actor because anybody who works on set any amount of time, they know the lenses, etc. And so I learned a lot from him as well because he's been on so many sets and he knows what they're trying to get. So yeah.
I was disappointed he's not in.
Yeah, like why wouldn't he be? He's perfect for that Iowa, cow dung type of person.
He probably would have been because obviously Raimi has such a following because of the Evil Deads. If he were in A Simple Plan, he would have been very distracting.
Well, Raimi was second unit director on Hudsucker, and I think.
Oh, that's right, and he co-wrote it too, didn't he?
Maybe.
Wow!
Yeah.
He did.
We just did Hudsucker a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he did the all the mailroom stuff.
And Bruce is in there.
Yeah, that's why I am.
You think he would have been distracting?
I do. I mean, maybe not by others, but for me as a fan of Evil Dead, I would have been like, oh, that's Ash.
Okay. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't for love of the game either.
He's a very campy. No, he's a good actor. Yeah, he's a very cartoony actor. So would it be this movie? This is very real. Everything about this movie is so real, except for the zombie thing at the end.
I'm so excited to see it.
Oh yeah. And you got to see the 4K DVD if you have a DVD. It's beautiful.
Oh, I'm writing it down. 4K version.
It is a great movie. It's so good. I'm trying to think.
Ian, what do you think the symbolism of the crows were?
They're just waiting
around. They pick off the dead or something like that.
Yeah, they're waiting around for everyone to die because they know. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not good with that kind of stuff, but they're just waiting around for people to die. They know if they get in this situation, you're gonna die.
Yeah. I can't believe 25 years ago this movie came out, and now it seems like it would never be made by a major studio either.
Oh, it's so
Why?
Because it's so small and it's like Fargo. I think the only reason why it got made because everyone thought it'd be like a Fargo movie, but it's not like what's Fargo? How do you say that?
Fargo's a dark comedy. Like that's. I think I was thinking of Fargo a lot during this, thinking this is so much like Fargo, but without the humor.
I would say, Fargo's not ironic, but it's like heightened. It's like a heightened reality, and this is all real and stuff like that. And so I think they were expecting Fargo type of numbers, but it's just straightforward like type of movie and stuff like that.
I have a question about the snow.
Yeah.
Was a lot of that snow animated?
No.
You don't think so?
I worked on a movie called Click, and when they have fake snow, it's horrible. It's like a potato, like it's like dyed potato like things, and it smells rotten. And I imagined if they had to do that,
because excuse me, I watched it in the 4K.
I wonder if that's your 4K TV.
Well, it's just like I looked at it, it looked like it wasn't. It was just kind of in front of them, which I didn't notice when I saw the movie on the screen when it came out. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I was like, that doesn't look like it's really there.
I wonder who shot it. I forgot who shot it. It was so big.
I was going to say, where was it shot?
I think it was shot in Nebraska. And then we double check this.
Yeah, I'm not sure
because he specifically wanted like all white and stuff like that. That's why he wanted to do it like smallest sense of snow.
Oh yeah.
Where did they shoot it? Yeah, it's shot in Wisconsin. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh!
Imagine that shoot.
Wisconsin. Oh.
Well, that just when you were asking about the fake snow, because I know that they did. At one point, they were doing something up in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and they made snow and then they shoveled it onto because it was supposed to be like Christmas time, so they had a whole truck of made snow, but it was cold. It's like they shaved ice or something like that. Then they dumped it all over the streets.
I think for the holdovers, I think that's what they did. I did like a Hallmark movie, and it was all like cotton laid over. It was in the summer we did that, and they put like cotton and stuff over the grass, and I don't know what it was like. Yeah.
But I guess in a simple plan, if it's shot in Wisconsin,
I can't imagine, and it's like the barren forest. I can't imagine bringing those trucks there, But Sam such a pro, man. It's crazy.
You have to see this movie, Celeste. I love. There's this line that Bridget Fonda says earlier on in the film, like after they first discover the money, and Bill Paxton brings the money home, and he's like, "Do you think we're going to get caught?" And she's like, "No one would ever believe that you're capable of doing what you've done." That's just such a good. It's so good. It's like no one would ever believe you're as evil as you're being.
Yeah, she's like a Lady Macbeth in it. She's the one that's like, it's
awesome.
That's
a great, everyone is so good. I say Billy Bob is at his best here, and he's always really good. But
I guess the guy wrote it he wanted to write a screenplay, but he did the right thing writing his book first, and then they bought because I bet if you read his screenplay, it wouldn't have been bought. But it was like a best-selling book. Yeah, it was a big book. It was awesome.
Wait, so who?
So Scott Smith wrote it. He wanted to write it as a movie, but he decided to write it as a book first, and then they bought the book rights, and then he wrote the screenplay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So no, and I love all those actors that are in it.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
And did you?
It's weird that like performances, even in like Dune. Well, for me, certain performances, except for one of them, they all felt. I don't know. Like I could watch it today and have no, you know what I mean? I would believe them still today.
Yeah.
And then, as obviously in At Close Range, we all know that all those people have gone on to do some stuff. And then Bridget Fonda, Bill Paxton, and Billy Bob Thornton are pretty good.
They're pretty darn good. Did you both? Well, I know you didn't watch this, Celeste, but did you notice, Bill, that how this and At Close Range were somewhat like Of Mice and Men? Like show me like you, or tell me like you did before. We'll go to that farm and I get to tend them rabbits. There were a couple of scenes in both of these films that were like that.
I did not get that.
No,
but I need it from the tractor stealing movie or from Simple Plan.
No, the tractor stealing movie. He's talking with
Patch is like that.
Yeah.
Who's like that?
Patch in At Close Range.
Yeah, the character.
Oh,
Patch is the one that talks too much.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
right?
so you and what also like those conversations like, tell me about the beautiful farm we're gonna move to when we move there, and you're like, oh no, don't make plans, you're gonna be shot.
I thought it was reverse Cain and Abel story. I was like, that's what I thought. I was like, did they do it like this?
Maybe,
because there's some decisions in the tractor stealing movie that are hard to believe if you're a parent, but
it is so much better than a tractor stealing movie.
I think it's a much better movie than a tractor stealing movie.
It's beautifully shot. He's one of the best directors working,
and it's known for that Madonna song, "What Live to Tell." I think that's
And were they together at
Yes.
that time?
Yes.
They were. Okay, so my
he was
fiance.
their best man, I believe. He was like something or officiated their wedding or something. James Foley did.
Yeah, because he directed 2 of her videos before. Yeah.
And Who's That Girl after.
Yeah, and then they had a falling out.
I wonder why. That must have been a Shanghai surprise.
Yeah, I just don't think she's suited for comedy.
Maybe not. Good thing we had Body of Evidence.
Forgot about that. Oh,
Sorry.
forgot about that. I bet that's gonna be Ian Ejectable.
Wait,
I never wait, with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
Do you see that?
who's in that one? Body.
It's Willem Dafoe, and I
Madonna.
think it was like after Basic Instinct came out, she wanted to be sexy, and so she's like a murder client, and then he has an affair with her and stuff like that.
Oh
She's
my-
like she's really naked in it, but I was in high school, so I didn't.
And there's
pay-
wax. I was like,
Yes.
you ever see that the Giovanni Ribisi movie called The Other Sister?
Yeah.
And what Juliette Lewis is like, who do you think invented sex? He's like, I think it was Madonna.
Because of the book. It's because of the book.
Capucine and I like say that line all the time to each other. I think it was Madonna.
You're gonna get canceled now. I hope you're happy.
No, I'm just copying Giovanni Ribisi, who shouldn't have played that role. Sorry, but he's a great cinematographer.
So was anybody here thinking? Speaking of that, and you were saying Crispin Glover was miscast in At Close Range. Would you think anybody in A Simple Plan was miscast?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
So it was more cohesive.
Like the other guy,
Yeah.
the guy that starts the downfall, is a perfect Wisconsin like nobody. He was so good.
Yeah, he's great. The cop is really good. You can't. No, it's really good. Yeah. No.
Okay, so we're at the point we get to pick. You can't pick your own. What movie do you pick? All right, Celeste, you start first. You could pick the tractor stealing movie or Simple Plan.
To eject?
Yeah, no, you love your favorite movie that you out of all 3.
Out
You
of
can't
all
pick
3.
your own. You can't pick your own.
Well, it's a little unfair because I haven't seen A Simple Plan.
It's okay.
So you can't pick it.
So then I got to At Close Range by default. Is that what you're
There you go.
Well, that's a good choice.
Well, I mean, we'll put in show notes why I chose after, but
Okay.
Because it's better.
like literally, if you just put up the stars alone, I don't know that I could choose either. So, I mean, right now by default, I'm going to choose At Close Range, but Ian, don't.
With an asterisk.
You have really good taste in tractor
Asterisk,
movies.
yes, because I like the fact that you're talking about Macbeth. I'm auditioning for Hamlet as we speak. So,
Oh, good luck.
You're doing it during the.
so that's what I'll pick for now with an asterisk.
Okay, because it's far superior to any other film we did. I am choosing, and no offense to you, Celeste, I'm choosing A Simple Plan because to me it is far and away the best film we talked about this week. It is a great movie. I cannot recommend it enough. It holds up in every way and needs to be seen.
I'm so excited to see it, you guys.
So good. You
thank
can borrow
for
it.
that, Bill.
And then I'm picking the tractor stealing movie. So Ian wins the Akeem Employee of the Month.
Oh my
for
God.
outstanding performance and effort.
See At Close Range, everybody.
Oh gosh.
It's the best tractor stealing movie you'll see all year.
It is. Don't
Oh,
they steal? Do they only steal tractors? Is that yeah?
No.
No, well they do some other stuff which I won't spoil.
Yes. No spoilers.
They drink a lot.
And they shoot
They
people.
smoke a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I'm not trying to ruin. I guess
Fuck,
I
yeah.
purposely didn't say they shoot people.
Well, they do in all of these movies. People get shot.
What's
There's
it called?
even a pub.
It is called At Close Range. So
Oh yeah, and there's a target on the poster. You're right. Can I just say I felt bad for the pug in Dune? There was like a battle scene. The guy's
Yes.
I'm like that poor pug.
Yeah.
I had to shout out to the pug. It's probably dead by now.
Yeah.
well, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll put the links to everything.
And also comment on what movies you would have chosen for your pick of the week, and also make some suggestions of what you might want to do on the show.
Awesome. All right, bye. Thanks everyone.
you,
Thanks,
Celeste.
Celeste.
Guys.
Pop the popcorn, grab a Coke. find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult class.